My name is Natalie Turner, and I'm 48 years old. My family has owned a dental clinic for generations. My husband, Yosef, joined the family business as my dad's successor and has been working at Turner Dental Clinic. He and my dad ran the clinic together until a year ago when my father passed away. Since then, it's been Yosef's show. One night, I suffered severe stomach pain and was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. My daughter, Yvonne, misunderstood something and told Yosef that I only had 3 months to live. Yosef appeared in my hospital room, full of pomp and swagger. Beside him, he brought along his mistress, Kelly. "I have no use for you on your deathbed," he declared, slamming a divorce paper in front of me. I was confused at first. But then I just had to laugh. "Don't make me laugh. You know nothing." This marked the beginning of my revenge. I wasn't dying in 3 months, it was just appendicitis. I later understood why Yvonne lied to Yosef. When I was in pain, Yosef did nothing to help. Yvonne called the ambulance and stayed with me at the hospital instead. In response to Yosef's attitude, Yvonne told him that I had a terminal illness with only 3 months to live, as a way to teach him a lesson. She lied to Yosef about my condition to make him act kinder towards me. But Yosef, seeing an opportunity, just threw the divorce papers at me. I was discharged a week later. When Yvonne and I returned home, we found many boxes piled up at the entrance. Inside, Yosef and Kelly were making a mess, eating and drinking. Yosef was shocked to see me. "What? Weren't you supposed to live just 3 more months?" "I'm perfectly fine. Seems like you've been doing whatever you want while I was away." "Did Yvonne lie? Why would she make up such a terrible joke?" "Because you didn't care for Mom. I thought even you would be kind to her if she was dying. But it was right to lie. Now we know your true colors. Who would bring their mistress home as soon as they think their wife is dying? And she's quite young, too. I'm embarrassed to be related to you." It felt good to have Yvonne on my side. "So, my house has become a hangout for some sketchy people while I was away? What have you been doing here?" "It's none of your business. Turning our home into a meeting place for some shady multi-level marketing scheme? You're just being used." I knew all along that Yosef and Kelly had been having an affair for 2 years. And Kelly was one of his patients. I heard that Kelly made the first move, but Yosef, who took the bait, is just as guilty. She opened a bubble tea shop which Kelly had always wanted to. Of course, it was under Yosef's financial support. However, with no experience in the food and beverage industry and the bubble tea craze already past its peak, the shop didn't catch on. And it closed down in 6 months, running at a loss. Soon after, Kelly opened a health spa. This venture, too, was made possible, of course, with Yosef's financial support. The health spa started with the simplistic idea that it's a current trend and the certifications are easy to get. It seems that initially, people did come to the business after its opening, but soon after, the number of customers dwindled, ultimately leading to its closure. These 2 failed ventures left Yosef with a debt of $400,000. Kelly was a complete novice, and Yosef knew nothing about business management. Even now, at Turner Clinic, he relies entirely on legal consultants and accountants. Despite the massive debt, he got roped into a multi-level marketing (MLM) scheme by Kelly's persuasion. He probably got smoothly talked into believing that this would quickly repay his debts. He's totally under Kelly's thumb. That MLM business you're into, when you search the company name, it shows up as a scam. Are you sure it's okay? You paid $16,000 up front, but how much have you made? Have you even recovered the $16,000? No, you're in the red, aren't you? There are critics of every company. I believe it's a good business. It's only been 3 months, I can't expect to make money right away. Stop acting like you know everything. You've realized it, haven't you, Yosef? This is just a non-profitable pyramid scheme. Such MLM schemes are increasing nowadays. You can't easily make money in this world. People who think like that will always be poor. Our business is different from those typical schemes. I don't care if you understand or not. The typical phrase of someone who's lying. The "if you don't believe me, that's fine" argument came up. Yosef seems to use this as a way to dispel his own insecurities. It's unbelievable that a smart guy like Yosef would fall for such a shady business. I suspect Kelly persuaded him, and he started it reluctantly, not wanting to be disliked by her. Yosef doesn't realize that $16,000 is a significant amount. To ordinary people, it's a lot of money. The idea of making housewives and students pay as much as $16,000 makes me feel not only guilty but also angry. You're coaxing people to join, almost forcibly, right? What's worse is that for those who can't afford the $16,000, you're making them borrow from payday lenders. You even go with them to the lender to make sure they don't run away. You're doing something highly unethical, and yet you scam people so calmly. Don't you feel guilty at all? It's too late to back out now, but why don't you stop before you create more victims? Our business is helping many people. In the long run, it's sure to make a profit, and will move up the ranks. Almost like he was brainwashed. But I suspect Yosef is just pretending to be brainwashed. All those boxes at the entrance, they're products from your business, right? Do you really think you can sell all of them? It's impossible. I have confidence in the products. They're additive-free and gentle on hair and skin. Men are more concerned about these things nowadays. There's a demand, he claimed. You can buy it cheaper because we save on advertising costs, that's what you say, right? Nowadays, shampoos and lotions usually don't contain harmful ingredients. It's unrealistic to expect success from such a limited and simplistic business, almost like a pyramid scheme. In this day and age, who would buy such a thing? In the end, you'll just lose friends. Got it? Don't use this house for your shady business. Leave with all that inventory. This is my house. Pressed by my argument, Yosef fell silent. Instead, Kelly started making a fuss. Yosef! This isn't what we agreed on. You said your wife wouldn't last long, so we'd divorce and live here. But she's fine, so what now? You even said we could use this house as the headquarters and have all these products shipped here. What are we going to do? Yosef probably never imagined that I was just suffering from appendicitis. He thought he could completely take over this house and turn it into a den of iniquity under Kelly's influence. It's a real nuisance, especially since Yvonne is still living here with me. And since Yosef was the one who initiated the divorce, it's too late for apologies now. No, this wasn't supposed to happen. I planned to live here with Kelly. But since we're divorcing, Natalie, it doesn't have to be this house. We can find another place to live together. What about the dental clinic? Well, I can continue working at Turner Clinic. I can work there even if I move out of this house. That's fine, right, Natalie? We'll see. I'm still in the early stages of my plan, so I'll let him think he's safe for now. I'll tighten the screws gradually later on. Kelly probably thought she could live a luxurious life in this mansion with Yosef, the new head of Turner Clinic. She must have been looking forward to becoming the clinic director's wife. Why else would she start a multi-level marketing business? Maybe she just wants to make easy money. Or dreams of being revered like a cult leader. She's really full of herself. I think what Kelly is doing lacks consistency and seems quite erratic. I finally turned my focus to her. What? Don't be so arrogant. You've never worked, have you? I don't think you're in any position to criticize me. Indeed, I've never been in the workforce. After graduating college, I never took a job and just helped around the house. That might be my weak spot. Not inconsistent at all. First, you wanted to start a food business, with Yosef's support, right? Was it a bubble tea shop? That closed quickly because of debt. Then you opened a health spa, again with Yosef's help, but that failed in 6 months too. Both times, when things went south, you left Yosef holding the bag. He's still paying off those debts. But that's his own fault. Then you moved on to multi-level marketing. Isn't this inconsistency? A lady like you wouldn't understand. To survive, we have to work. This business is a perpetual money-making scheme. Sure, it's called easy money, but spreading the word is hard work. But if I lay the groundwork now, I'll be set for life. But using Yosef's money for this? That doesn't sound convincing at all. What? You live in luxury in this big house and enjoy a lavish lifestyle because of Yosef's earnings. You don't work, living off your dad and Yosef, and now you're giving me grief? She's so out of touch with reality. That's right. You've had an easy life because of my earnings. Seizing the moment, Yosef chimed in. It seemed like the two of them were intent on ganging up against me. But they seemed to forget that we're set to divorce, making us essentially strangers to each other. He has no right to stay in this house or work at Turner Clinic. You're quite bold to say that. You think I don't know anything, but I'm well aware of everything. Did you know the clinic's reputation plummeted after you took over from my father? You were hardly ever there. I recently found out that you didn't want to work, so you hired dental assistants to run the clinic for you. And those assistants were dental interns, right? It's even worse that you paid them low wages. Isn't that a violation? You just want to make your life easier, right? Interns are paid low salaries, so they often work part-time to make ends meet. Hiring them cheaply is the lowest of the low. You have no right to interfere. Have you forgotten your father-in-law's motto? My father was a man of old beliefs, teaching us that women should not work. Take care of the home. Therefore, my mother, myself, and even my daughter Yvonne knew nothing about the inner workings of Turner Clinic. Being unaware, we had no say in it. As a child, I wanted to follow in the footsteps of Turner Clinic and become a dentist. But my academic abilities fell short, and my father strongly opposed it, forcing me to give up. No women in the workplace was his motto, passed down even to my daughter Yvonne. However, after graduating from college, Yvonne secretly attended a medical administration school to get her certification. Times have changed, and it's normal for women to work now. I believe it's time to discard my father's misogynistic views. Did you know that since my father passed away, the reviews for Turner Clinic have gone downhill? Regular patients have stopped coming because of Yosef's poor skills. I've heard it from various sources. And letting interns handle treatments shows a lack of responsibility. Naturally, that led to a storm of negative reviews. What are you going to do about ruining the reputation that my grandfather and father worked hard to uphold? Why not end it with my generation? Being a son-in-law and always trying to please your father, living under that discomfort. You never took my side. Just bowing down and being careful not to upset the mood. I was fed up with it. In such an unwelcoming environment, it's natural to seek comfort in someone else, right? Then go ahead, remarry Kelly, or do whatever you want. We're divorcing now, so you and I are strangers. Haven't I been telling you to leave? Leaving is easy for me. I don't mind. But if I go, who will take over Turner Clinic? This is exactly the turn of events I was waiting for. We don't need Yosef anymore. Go and be happy with Kelly. Don't worry, we have a successor. What, Natalie, you're getting remarried? Oh, that dentist your father brought in before he died. I thought he was going to work at Turner Clinic, but then he suddenly left for Europe. You and him, there was something fishy. You even went to the airport to see him off. Indeed, there was a dentist my father brought in. My father was often unwell at the time and was looking for a dentist to replace him. However, that man declined the offer. Yosef bringing him up now shows he's aware of his precarious situation. You didn't have any love for me either. Our marriage was almost like an arranged one. You married me only because you had a duty to marry someone who could continue the family business. True. I don't love Yosef. But I do have feelings for him. I've turned a blind eye to all his flamboyant affairs. Never felt jealous. As long as he did his job properly, that was enough. That was his only duty. Yvonne introduced me to someone she wants to marry. He has a dental license, so I've decided to let him take over the clinic. Yvonne has been thinking about the future of Turner Clinic. She even got her medical administration certification to help run the clinic. What? I haven't heard about this. I'm Yvonne's father, too. Don't just decide on marriage and succession without me. Don't claim to be a father now when you've never acted like one. Yvonne hates you and doesn't even want to see your face anymore. If we can live comfortably on Yosef's earnings, we don't have to stick to this place. Let's rent a spacious apartment somewhere else. You'll find another job easily. No, I'm not satisfied. I've worked here for over 20 years. I spent all that time trying to please your father, and I've finally got some freedom. I won't lose my skills just like that. Yosef probably hates the idea of starting from scratch at a new dental clinic. He's a bit of a shy person and takes time to get used to new environments. He wouldn't want to lose the relationships and patient base he has built over the years. Yosef might have thought he couldn't hand over his skills and experience to a son-in-law he's never seen before. Wait. This is bad. I just got an email from Smith. We haven't met our quota for this week. We need to hurry. But we can't take on any more inventory. What should we do? It's obvious. We have to do that strategy again. Last week, it worked and 2 people became members and bought the products. I already knew about this strategy. It's an illegal act that should never be done. Yes. Kelly, you've been hooking up guys on dating apps and inviting them to join the MLM, right? That's supposed to be banned, but you're still doing it, aren't you? I saw it. You're showing off your fun-filled life on social media, suggesting that joining this business is such a blast. But your tactics are painfully obvious and recycled. I can't believe people still fall for this. Shut up. People join our business because the product is genuinely good. That's why they keep buying, and once they know about it, they stick around. We're just inviting everyone to the entrance of this opportunity. What about inviting patients from the dental clinic? We're getting a lot of complaints. We already have fewer patients, and now even more are staying away. That's because it's a really good product and a great organization. I just want to share this happiness with as many people as possible. I think the biggest problem with MLM is the constant need to recruit people. Forget the product quality, it's all about getting more people under you. You'll end up recruiting your whole life without earning anything. The only people who make money are at the very top. Everyone else is just spreading themselves too thin. Before you know it, people start distancing themselves from you. Why did Yosef start an MLM? That's the part that's bothering me the most. Then Yvonne, who had been in her room upstairs, came down holding an envelope. This letter came for Dad, but I accidentally opened it. Yvonne hesitated to speak. The atmosphere felt like she was about to announce something significant. It's a notice of dental license revocation. That's when it clicked. Yosef knew his dental license was going to be revoked, so he started the MLM business as his next venture. What did he do to cause this? What? What does this mean? I didn't know anything about this. Kelly exclaimed before me. Is Kelly really thinking of remarrying Yosef? There's an 18-year age gap. If she's just in it for the money, it might be a good lesson for Yosef. Dad, you probably thought you could keep running the clinic even if your license was revoked, as long as it was your own clinic. That's why you clung to Turner Clinic. Unfortunately, it's now in my boyfriend's name. What did you do to get your license revoked? That's pretty serious. Yosef didn't spill the beans immediately. Kelly was getting more and more frustrated. Do you and Yvonne know what Yosef did? Yvonne and I exchanged glances. I had no idea. I don't know if it's true, but Dad, you threatened a patient, right? Then they went to the police, and you were questioned, weren't you? Could it be that he threatened a dental patient during an MLM recruitment and things escalated? It all made sense now. Recruiting patients is prohibited, and threatening them is indefensible. That's crazy. I didn't mean to threaten anyone. Someone agreed to join with a $16,000 fee, but the next day they wanted to quit. I just lightly said, that's a problem. But that's within the cooling off period, right? If it's the next day, they can cancel and get a refund, normally. You're just making up reasons to prevent them from using the cooling off period, aren't you? Well, a high-ranking official came and gave a presentation and shared success stories. The patient was so impressed and sympathetic, saying, "What a great job." Then, the next day, they say, "Actually, I quit. Please return my money." Isn't that awful? So, you threatened them? I didn't threaten them. They went to the police on their own. There must be more to it than that to get your license revoked. You're hiding something worse. Well, about 4 or 5 people came forward, not to the police but to the dental association. They complained about me, and when I didn't quit the business and kept recruiting, that's when I was contacted. You didn't expect to get your license revoked? As he spoke nonchalantly, I realized the gravity of the situation. Turner Clinic is in trouble. You're getting refuted left and right. You're really useless, old man. Kelly finally showed her true colors. So, you knew about the license revocation and still thought of marrying me? It's like a post-reveal in rock, paper, scissors. You tricked me. Are you stupid? I have no use for Yosef without money. Why would I marry a man 18 years older than me for any reason other than money? Yosef seemed irritated by the truth. Did he seriously think a woman 18 years his junior would be with him for anything other than money? So, it was all about the money after all. You had me spend all that money, then acted ignorant when the shops failed. You thought I'd always be there for you. I'm still paying off those debts. Do you understand that? You're just realizing that now? What else should I love about you, apart from your money? I'd like you to tell me. So why did you push this business on me? I told you I had money. I struggled to gather people, even reaching out to patients, and this is what it's come to. The elderly coming to the clinic are vulnerable to misinformation. Easy to deceive, right? As soon as the word deceive came up, it was game over. Yosef had known all along and went along with Kelly's plans. I did everything I could. It's not my fault people didn't join. Kelly told me to, so I even contacted classmates from middle school, high school, college, and former work seniors. I reached out to people I'd barely talked to and promoted this business. They looked at me weirdly and said awful things. What more do you want me to do? I was just following Thomas's instructions. I thought Yosef would be good because of his connections and patience. Thomas's instructions? What's that? I was planning to deal with this myself, but now it seems Kelly's revelations are about to start. I'm tired of explaining, so I'm going home. Honestly, I was in trouble when the wife came back. I thought it was just a fling, but Yosef said we could remarry since you were dying. I was content as long as I could enjoy luxury for a while. But Thomas asked me to be his partner, and I was considering it. Now I've made up my mind. Thanks, Yosef. Yosef was left looking pitifully defeated. He's divorcing me, his mistress is leaving him. And my daughter is set to marry and take over the clinic. Yosef has no place left. He thought I'd soften up and take him back, but he's mistaken. I'll see this through to the end. I have nothing more to say to you, so take your stuff and leave. Whether you're dumped or whatever happens to you, I have no sympathy. You've had your way till now, so maybe you should live quietly from now on? I'll invite you to Yvonne's wedding since you're technically her father. The groom's family is quite prestigious, so a wedding without both parents is frowned upon. I'll allow you that much. Kelly, too, was likely being used by this Thomas character, possibly the top figure in the MLM. She's quite beautiful and a necessary asset for attracting people to the business. And Yosef, duped by Kelly, supported her in the food and health spa ventures. Yosef was forced to cooperate with a multi-level marketing business he didn't want to be part of. I wonder how much money he ended up spending on Kelly. Now that his dental license has been revoked, how is Yosef going to live? His only experience is as a dentist. It's unlikely he could just become a regular office worker now. Well, what happens to Yosef is none of my concern. If Dad was going to have a mistress, he should have chosen someone smarter and classier. When Mom was hospitalized, he brought that woman home, but she didn't do any housework and only made a mess. I was dreading the thought of her becoming my stepmother. He could have at least found someone as wonderful as Mom. But then, men often choose mistresses who are the exact opposite of their wives, right? Yvonne's sharp words left Yosef completely isolated. Later, Yvonne got married. She found a wonderful husband. The 28-year-old man who even had previous patients transferred to our clinic. Because of his good reputation and friendly demeanor. Yosef, who appeared at Yvonne's wedding, looked significantly thinner and tired. No surprise there. Yosef is grappling with a $100,000 inventory debt from the MLM. And a $60,000 alimony to me. And a $400,000 debt from the failed restaurant and health spa Kelly ruined. Now, at 50, he is working in manual labor to repay these debts. It's unlikely he'll ever return to dentistry. Meanwhile, the MLM business Kelly was involved in got a 6-month suspension for illegal recruitment practices. Furthermore, this Thomas guy she mentioned ran off with all the money earned from the MLM. Kelly, being his partner, is accused of being an accomplice. Now she's being pressed to repay the money and is working in the adult entertainment industry. I've fully recovered and am currently preoccupied with thoughts of my grandchild expected next year.